Well, there's a beginning of the kitchen counter framing. I am making it up as I go along, so it's taken a little bit of time to think because I'm using recycled pallet wood pieces and trying to strip out staples and nails as I go and trying to find the right pieces. So I've got some cross beams here supporting this, and this is just resting on here for now. Later I'm gonna screw it and countersink it and drill it into the bottom of that. But first I'm gonna finish a complete countertop framing, and then that'll plunk in place. This will be done in 3 pieces. The one piece will include the kitchen sink. Actually, I'm not sure I'm liking this, how that piece falls in here, because I'm going to have a piece of frame right there, right in the middle of the kitchen sink. I don't like that. I might have to move this over some. That's the thing, I'm using scrap lumber. That's a 5-foot piece, and I've got 11.5 feet of wall, so it makes it a little bit awkward to work with. So I think I'm going to do is actually move this over, and that'll be the end of the first section, and then from here to here will be another section, piecing that in, and that'll give me then the next 5-foot section will be whole in one piece, so my stove can plop in place, my sink will plop into place on this one. So this will be something like this. I can't really extend it all the way, but I think that butt end will end up here, and then piece from here to here with another. So I'll have, anyway, it's going to be 3 pieces. The countertop will be done in 3 pieces. The framing for it anyway, that is. And then I will plunk each piece into place as they're done. So that will rest then on those frames. The top piece, the top frame will drop in onto the legs, basically. So I've got a plan. I just got to make it work. Problem is, using all this scrap wood, it's just taking time with all the junk. But waiting on payday, so this is what I've got. Now I got my new Tractor Supply level, which I am putting to good use, and I'm using the old level. I'm making sure these are forgive me, I don't know the right word, plumb, I believe, and this is level. But anyway, look at that. How's that for not bad? It could be a tiny fraction adjusted, but that's, for using warped old lumber, that's pretty good. I'm satisfied with that. So these are all absolutely perfectly straight up and down. And that is, now a lot of people were thinking my house was off. Now these are all cut the same size, so if my house wasn't level, then that would not be level. So that shows how close my house is. So I think John and I did a good job. I'm feeling pretty good about it. This is going to be a massive task though, doing this out of scrap wood. I have to pull the nails out of every single piece I cut. So it's taken me hours here. But I guess that just gives me a nice feeling of accomplishment when it's done, because I've done it myself using free materials. There's a rough piece of the countertop framing. Now it's just resting on this leg out front. I just set it there to check. It's quite a job. That was full of nails and stuff and staples. This is the same, it's funny, they're reunited. This is the same wood that was stapled to the OSB was stapled to this wood. This is the framework of the crates that the OSB was part of. So they're being reunited. How cool is that? Well, I'm going to check the level before I go on this way. I'm going to check the level this way, and if I got my cuts right, then I can continue on and make the outer legs. And do it. I think I'll have the legs will be in the way. The legs will come out, I think, and then I'll have an indentation. I'm still making this up as I go along. The problem is, this is how wide the kitchen sink roughed framing is. The kitchen sink sits in down into that. So this is a really tight fit. It's how it's going to be, and it extends out this far. So it is just how it is. So I'm going to probably come down with the counter and then in, and then down with some paneling or something on the bottom or a kickboard. But yeah, it's going to be massive. But that's just because of the size of that sink. Then again, like I said, the RV sink itself, the original camper sink, wasn't much smaller. It wasn't as deep this way, but it was the same width. So, but I will have a large countertop in here, or counter space, and I've still got room to walk. There's still plenty of room to walk back and forth here between the counter and the stairwell. Oh, somebody just texted me. So there's plenty of room here. I sort of duck my head a little, although I don't have to. I'm starting to do it out of habit just to be extra cautious. But you can see there's a little bit of space here for me to walk through safely without bumping myself. Yeah, I don't have to duck. I just sort of lean to the side a little to be safe. Better safe than sorry. Actually, I can set you up here. Oh, look at that. That looks amazing, doesn't it? So, yeah, I just have to lean to the side as I go under. But that's fine. Long as, yeah, I can stand up here and work comfortably. I will not have to worry about any, as long as I don't close it in too far this way and cause myself any troubles. This will be fine this way. This will be absolutely fine. I can stand up perfectly straight. I can stand on my toes. I can jump up and down. So, let me see. Did I do my numbers right? Not absolutely perfect, but I can live with it. Especially because this wood is warped. Seriously, that's pretty close for warped wood. I can live with it. Well, I'm going to carry on making the framing until it's too dark out, which is going to be soon. I'm doing my cuts outside, trying to keep it clean inside. Now this is screwed and glued on the four corners. Now I'm going to make another, this is 21¼ inches. That's how wide the sink, the framing of the sink is 21 inches. So I gave a 1/8 inch on either end for playroom. And now I'm going to actually put the frame for the sink itself in here. So I'm going to cut 2 more pieces and drop it in. And then I'll be able to actually bring the sink in. Of course, I better make a couple legs first. And I can actually put the sink in place and see how it's going to look and how it's going to fit before I continue on too far with the framing of this. Well, it's long after dark. Long after dark. And I am attempting to finish my sink framing tonight. And I believe I have it. I hope it's centered nicely. I have tried to center it on the wall, or on the window. Let me see. Framing looks good. So, glued and screwed, all 4 corners, everything all around, glued and screwed in. Let me see how we did it here. Something's hanging. What do we got? The clamps. That all looks good. Something's hanging. I can't see though. I don't want to break anything. So that's just sitting here. Get my headlamp on and see what we got down here. we got? Well, everything looks good here. So what's next? Everything looks good there. That all looks good. That looks fine. And that looks good. It just drops in then. There it is. That's a tight fit. Wow. Look at that. No. Ugh. Just breathe something in. Blah. Well. Now that's going to be up an inch from where it is actually. But I just dropped it into the framing. Now on top of this is going to be plywood, and then whatever I use as the surface. Like, I'm thinking about making using pallet wood strips glued together and then sanded flat, very flat and nice. Probably run it through the planer. I might have to do this in 2 sections because my planer is 12.5 inches. So I'll make 2 12-inch or whatever it takes here pieces and run them through the planer to make them flat as one, and then sand it and then varnish it so it's waterproof. But there's the sink, and there it is centered under the window, as every sink should be. What do you think of that? So there's the beginnings of my kitchen. It's not screwed into the wall yet. This is just the frame, rough framing, and it's not screwed in yet, but there is the sink in place anyway. And it's a little bit higher than the one in my RV, which is good for me because I hate bending my back down low for washing dishes and stuff. So I like it. I really like it. It's coming together. The kitchen is coming together. Now that was a job. Oh, that was a job. That's all recycled materials. Everything. Including the sink. What a job putting that together. Sadly, while this was sitting outside, I broke the soap bottle underneath, but I think I can get something that screws in, no problem. The pump slips in to the soap bottle, and then I guess the soap bottle screws into the framing of that. I can probably replace it if I have to replace the whole thing, but yeah, that works. So there's that. That was a pro. And this never was hooked up. This is just sitting here. A drinking water filter. That's pretty cool. I can have a built-in water filter. And the kitchen sink. Removable water sprayer. It's not really excited about a removable water sprayer, especially in a full wooden house, but hey, it's there. Now how I did these, because this is like a homemade 2x4. Whoever made the pallets, it was like a 2x4, which makes it 3.5 inches thick, and my screws were only 3 inches. So I took a big fat drill and I drilled a hole in there halfway through, and then I put glue on, and then I was able to screw in, so the screw starts about here and it's halfway through each board. And I did that on all of the supports for the legs. I'm going to add another leg here in the middle of each of these two. I've got them somewhere. Oh, there's one. I've got them cut. I just wanted to fit the sink before I went any further. So I'm going to have a leg here, dead center in here, and a leg dead center in there. So it's ooh, whatever I breathed in is in my throat. Anyway, maybe now's a good time to explain. My nose doesn't work. It never did. So I'm always breathing through my mouth, and I see a lot of the trolls talking about my snorting noises. I've even seen some normal good people commenting about my breathing noises. Well, I can't breathe through my nose. I was born that way, and it is what it is. That is me. So deal with it. I'm sorry. And that's why I keep inhaling and breathing things. There's something in my lungs right now that I just breathed in. And that's, you can watch my videos, you're going to have to put up with me gagging, choking, and swallowing and breathing in bugs. Part of life. So anyway, this is looking good. I'm liking it. I'm going to have a nice countertop over here. Really nice counter space over here. Actually, it's enough space for a, I don't know how high, but I could get a small fridge under there if I wanted to. A small apartment size fridge. And then I'm going to have I'll have like a half counter space here. Because I'm going to come out halfway and have a food pantry up in here. That's a perfect place for a food pantry, I think. So I'll have a little open door with all my canned foods right in there. That's perfect. I like it. And then over here, I'm going to have a little bit of workspace. And then I'm going to have the stove, which I'll build tomorrow probably, depending on the weather. And then I'll have the stove then in here, in this section. And then I'll have a little bit of workspace. So it's, all in all, it's going to be just short of 12 foot. It's going to be 11.5 foot kitchen. And that, to me, is very, very important. I want a comfortable kitchen. That's what I need. So, let's have a look. Can I get through here? Is it too big? Is it going to crowd up my tiny home? Did I do it right? I can still walk pretty much straight through. Again, I naturally lean, but I don't think, I don't have to lean. Yeah, I can walk through. Actually, I'm naturally leaning towards the stairway. Isn't that weird? I can walk through without leaning or ducking. Perfect. No problem. So I don't think I'm ever going to hit my head on here because I naturally lean over anyway. Now what I like is I've got space. I can sit here, I can wash my dishes, and I'm not going to get a backache. This was incredibly important. I hate those kitchen sinks where I'm bending in washing dishes and oh, it hurts. When I'm washing my dishes, I want to stand here in comfort. This is good. This is good. I don't have to lean or bend. That's the advantage of making your own house. Well, that's it for tonight. I'm going to go process my videos. Troy from the Off-Grid Project, the Do-It-Yourself World, and the Tiny Cottage on Wheels. It's coming together. Good night.